Yo, what's up? My name is Flocka, and we've got some brand new Halloween-themed pieces in the game of Lego Fortnite. And if you know anything about the channel, you know we gotta go ahead and get you guys one of these aircraft popping right away using the Halloweentown bundle and only the decor pieces. We're gonna be crafting one of these beautiful yet fragile aircraft today. And if you're buying anything from the shop and you need somebody to support, consider using my code Flocka in the item shop. Drop a like on the video, and let's get right in. All right, to start this vehicle off, we're obviously gonna need a jack, and then we're gonna go straight to filter, go to Halloweentown Hall, theme, click utility, and then vehicles. That's gonna bring up every piece that we're gonna be using for this build. And let me tell you, these Halloweentown Hall pieces are incredible. Lots of slanted walls and really cool structures. But you know how we do it over here in the canopy. We're only using the decor pieces to build this aircraft. I think one of the main components are going to be these counters like they usually are. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with two of these side by side, just like that. Now I want to use these pumpkin banners as sort of like the wings. But we need to get some pieces out there first, and to do that, we're gonna have to use some floors. So let's take two 4x4s and throw it on both sides like this. So the spiders are gonna be the front and back, or at least the center console of this vehicle. We're gonna need a little assistance to do this next part, so we're gonna take a 6x2 and hang it over one stud on both sides with the spiders, and actually place a second one hanging out like that. On both sides, we'll take the nightmare counter corner, and we're gonna make sort of like a point here. Now, I want the pumpkin banners on both sides, but in order to do that, I'm gonna need to use this floor piece first. So we're gonna place one on both sides like this, making sure that the ends of the floor piece are flush with the ends of the counter. It'll barely be hanging on like that. We can now take a thruster to the inside of the floor. And I want to build out like this with those floor pieces. Then we want to take our pumpkin banner and we're going to slide it right underneath the counter. So if you point it underneath those floor pieces and then slide it forward, you should be able to place it down like this. And we'll just go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. Make sure you place a floor down far enough so that you can actually get underneath this corner counter, and make sure you're using the opposite pumpkin banner for each side. Otherwise, you might find yourself not able to place it the same way. So now that we have these on, I can actually go ahead and throw another one down here, except this one's going to be sticking out just a little bit and it's going to be on the top. So we're going to use the previous pumpkin banner. In order to find our spots here. So just like that, we've built up the wings of the aircraft. Go ahead and get rid of all of that extra junk that you just placed. And now we want to go into surfaces and grab the Nightmare Feast table. And you should be able to nudge this up right over the top of those cupboards. Now it's going to be uneven. So what we're going to do is we're going to place two of them with a stud of room in between. So like that. And we'll also do the same thing on the other side. So placing two of them just over the top of the counters. And then underneath those feast tables, we're going to place the counter corner on each side to create our tip. You should be able to slip one of those counters right in the center like this. If you're careful, nudging it back, it should go green just like the other ones. So on the front underneath, we're going to place a thruster, and it should be hanging over the bottom just like this. We're going to use floor pieces again to get this lined up to the front where we need it. Grab our pumpkin banner and nudge it all the way to the top. We'll want to get rid of this excess floor right here. I want to get a banner on the back too. So what I'm going to do is take the 6x2 Pale Nightmare floor. We're going to toss it like that. And then underneath it, we're actually going to take a small thruster, build a floor upside down. I'm going to add some floor pieces to the end, and that should be enough space to fit these pumpkin banners on. So we'll put one on the very edge, and I guess I can flip one the other way, and we'll do the same thing to the other side as well. There we go. And just like that, we have the back side of the aircraft. Make sure you get rid of that excess build stuff that you've got on the back there. And now let's figure out the top, how this thing's gonna work. So I'm gonna start with the driver's seat. We're actually gonna have it towards the back because I think I might just get rid of this. As much as I like that front, it does feel kind of like a lot. And there are other pieces that we can use too. This aircraft needs storage. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. One chest here, one chest there. I think I'm gonna put the podium on the front, kind of like a console. And you know what? Maybe we move the driver's seat. We'll put it right here and on both sides of the podium in the front. Let's go ahead and throw one of these bat statues. We'll slide in a couple passenger seats here. And if you want, you can throw another chest down here if you'd like, but you do need some surface area for your balloons, so be careful. I think we'll just top off each end with one of these bat statues. Now, I want to put on this nightmare light. It kind of acts funny though. The way you get it on is a little bit weird. You're gonna wanna point your cursor underneath these feast tables and it'll actually go green right underneath like that. I don't know what all that's about, but it is what it is. On the back side, we wanna take the nightmarish web, pointing our cursor somewhere below the ship so that it's nice and even with the bottom of the floor. We're gonna place one of those on the back side, as well as slipping in one of these nightmare counter corners. I'm gonna have it 2 studs on each side like this, so the slant is facing towards the front. And now it is time to add the balloons and thrusters. So thrusters, let's go with the smalls right away. It looks like we can get 2 on the front here, perfect for turning. Would love to do that somewhere on the back end. Looks like I can sort of. Yes, right here on the sides of these floor pieces. I'll then add a large thruster to the back of these counter corners, making sure that they're lined up evenly. And I'll also go underneath towards the front, and we'll put a small thruster on the back side of the front counter corners. Those will be channel 3, and then you're gonna wanna go to all of your turning thrusters, which will be these 2 and those 2, and adjust according to whatever you have your channel set to. So for me, this is channel 1, this one's channel 2. That means this one's channel 1, and this one's channel 2. Now all we have left is to add the balloons. We need 2 balloons that are automatically up all the time. That's gonna give us our desired flight. But then we need to figure out a spot for these activated balloons. And I'm thinking at least 2 in the corner, 2 in front of these passenger seats, and 2 on the back side. Maybe like right on the corner there. I might end up needing more than this. We will have to find out. But we still have one more thing to do, and that is to add our tires, our landing gear. So I'm just gonna take a 6x2 and making sure that it's flush with the front. We're gonna place 2 right here, as well as on the bottoms here where we already have floor pieces placed. We're gonna place 2 more on the edges. Take out those small powered wheels and start placing them on right on the edges like that. It looks like I have to pull this small power tire back one for some reason. So in order to make sure that they're even, I'll just make sure the other tire is also back a stud. And then on the front, we're just taking those steerable tires, the small ones, and we're placing them on both sides of those 6x2s. Make sure that you adjust your tires so that they're facing the right way. And we're ready to test. So we drop the vehicle down. It looks pretty darn heavy in the back if we're being honest, but we're gonna sit and we're gonna test it out like we always do. Lifting up the balloons already, there's a lot of lift on the front. So I'm gonna drop it down and we're gonna adjust some things. Also, making sure to pay close attention to the fall so that I know how the vehicle is gonna fall in the air. I saw the vehicle take a little bit of damage there on the landing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place small powered wheels on the back instead. So now there's 6 wheels. You can go ahead and get rid of the other 2 if you want. But now when I lift up and we fall down, we should be saved from that damage. Now, let's fix the lift on this aircraft. We'll start by getting rid of those front balloons and we'll place them back right where those candles are. This isn't necessarily a problem, but if you know me, you know I like that thing to lift nice and even. So now we're gonna back these ones up 2 studs. So they're lined up with the spider and the bat, and we'll check that out. This is looking a little bit better. It's actually doable. I don't like when the nose is pointing straight up in the air. But now we're going to activate our thrust and see how this bad boy flies. Oh my gosh. What is happening? For some reason, one side is going a little bit higher than the other. Sometimes readjusting where those thrusters are sitting can help too, so I'll put them a little bit more on the floor pieces instead. I'm gonna make sure all of my thrusters are adjusted properly. So channel 1, channel 2, channel 1, channel 2, yes. Make sure that there's no sneaky thrusters that I'm not seeing. I've got these 2 that are underneath. So I'm gonna take these 2 thrusters that are underneath off, and hopefully that gets rid of my uneven flying problem. And now it seems to be flying a lot better. There's still some sort of weird, ominous tilt. That could very well be changed physics or this wall piece that I have on the back. But the Halloweentown jet still flies extremely nice. I'm actually gonna get rid of this back piece and see if that does anything for me. And yeah, I don't know. It's flying, it's dropping even, it's rising even. But when I activate the thrusters, it gets a little wonky. But like I said, that might not be my fault. This thing still flies like a beaut. And if I had to assume, I would assume that I'm able to operate this thing quite nicely in the water, which I am. And then we can go straight from the water to the air, just like that without a problem. Also, don't forget to add your power center. It can go easily on the back like this. It can also be something that is easily forgotten. And you're gonna be wondering why your vehicle's not moving on the ground. I am not gonna lie, you guys. This jet is kind of fragile. You might want to reinforce with some frost pine. But that being said, it still flies extremely nice. The turning is great. The aesthetics are great. The functionality is great. And as always, we got this done by using a majority of the decor pieces. Halloween is approaching fast and we still have plenty of spooky builds to get to. So that's where I'm gonna have to leave it for today, everybody. Thank you for following this tutorial. Pat yourselves on the back if you were able to construct the Halloweentown jet. Take it easy, everybody, and I will see you in the next one.